Morning, family. Hey, welcome to the Beatdown Live. Listen, I know we advertised we had Raquel Miller coming in today, and we had a scheduling conflict at the last moment. So we will be interviewing her later today, and that will be released on Monday. But fortunately, we had an awesome interview last night with Kenny Sabb of Killer Boxing in out of Australia, Melbourne. He lives actually in Sydney now, Australia. So we're gonna bring that interview to you. It's an awesome interview, trust me. And then Monday we will have Raquel Miller on here because we're recording it. We're interviewing her today, the championship boxer out of San Francisco, California, Rice-A-Roni area. So listen, there's no drop off. You're going to love this interview. We thank you for hanging with us, sticking with us, being part of Fighter Share Nation. Again, we had a scheduling conflict at the last minute with Miss Raquel Miller, but she is going to give us an interview this afternoon, and we will air that on Monday. We appreciate your patience and we appreciate your patronage. Listen, we're working hard to bring you the best product we can. So I hope you enjoyed this interview from Kenny Sabb that we got yesterday evening. And man, look, we were pumped by the end of the interview. He really talks about giving back and what he could do more for society than what society could do for him. It's an incredible interview. He's an incredible guy. Became a friend of the show, family of the show, and you're gonna really appreciate this interview from Kenny Sabb out of Sydney, Australia. All right, love you, family. Hey, comment, let us know what you think on the video, or in the interview rather. I will be monitoring the chats. We love you, and God bless you. Thank you very much for being part of this Fighter Share family. Here we go. Hey, welcome to the Beat Down. Bro, you awake?
I'm here, man. I'm ready.
Okay, just making sure
We
you
got
were
a
awake.
text. We got a text in the middle of the screen. I don't know what that means, but it says text right there. So
It does? It does.
yeah, it does.
Wow. It's probably reminding you to check your phone. But
Got
we'll go
it.
ahead and
Got it.
remove it now that you got the message. Just making sure you got the message. Uh, look, hey, we're not gonna wait. This is gonna be a great show. We got something special coming up for our Fighter Share Nation. They didn't see coming, so I can't wait. How about you?
Listen, we got a special guest today
What?
from a long way away. Listen, we've been doing this whole international thing a
Yeah,
lot on
we.
this platform. We'll wait on that. We'll wait on that.
All right, we'll be right back because he about to spill all the beans. Just can't hold no
All
tea
of
in
it.
his mouth.
You know why you here.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, batten down the hatches. We'd like to introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Dun, 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 dun. Whoa. Hey, welcome to the Beat Down. My name's Brew. This is the Badger. He still got some music playing in his head, but that's okay.
Oh no, I'm in my own world right now. I'm
I see.
zoomed out, zoomed. I'm zoned in.
Zoomed
There
out.
you go. Zoned
Wow.
out. Hey, and
This is
listen,
your
this is me without
brain
no
on the
cabbage.
cabbage. Yes.
No cabbage today, but I'm excited because I'm here with my brother. We getting the week started off right, but most important, we got a longtime friend of mine, a real hell of a guy. More importantly, he's an influencer, a world traveler, and he's lacing some of the best fighters around the world in his gear. Y'all see me modeling some of his stuff, and some of the fighters I mess with, they rock it too. Fighter Shed Nation, let's give a warm round of applause to my brother from down under, Kenny from Killer Sports Group. Kenny, how you doing, brother?
Hey, my man. Nice to be here. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Now, I gotta say right off, I like some of the stuff that he's been showing me over the years from Killer Sports and Killer Boxing, but he hadn't gotten anything that fit me.
We're gonna get something out to you then. and what? You gotta get at me, man.
I do, bro.
I'll look after a man.
I gotta do better, bro. I do. First and foremost, man, I'm happy to have you on the platform, bro. How have you been?
Great to be here, man. You guys have doing amazing work. This is an amazing platform. Great for boxing. Good for people around the world to view this, and it's good to be here, man. I've been well. Hasn't been easy, of course, this last year, but hey, we're here. We're still here. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And you're in Sydney, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. How close are you to the water?
About 10 minutes away.
Okay. So, is it true that anywhere you dip your net in the water, you'll come up with prawns?
Yeah, pretty much in Sydney.
Oh.
Got a lot of prawns here.
Yeah, it's time.
Wow,
It depends what type of prawn. It depends what type of prawns you're looking at. What type of prawns? There's a lot of different prawns here.
Indeed it is. So, wow. So before we got on air, bro, we were having a very brief conversation about how you've been adjusting and how Sydney and Australia has handled the COVID epidemic or pandemic. Nothing like we're doing here in the States, especially in Florida for my people that are here. Give us a little bit of idea of what it's like in Sydney right now with dealing with COVID.
See, we actually had, when it first hit COVID in March, we were in complete lockdown for about 3 months. Complete lockdown for 3 months. And then it was gone. There was no COVID. So it went away and people went back to normal life. People went out, people just went everywhere. It was fine. No masks. Everyone was just cool. And then in the last 3 weeks, just before New Year's hit, we had like one new case, just one new case. And then it's been popping up 1 or 2 cases a day. And everyone's going crazy here. It's like it's out of control. It's like we've got 2 new cases. This morning we had 3 new cases. So everyone's like, you must wear a mask now. Everyone must be in isolated areas. We've blocked off certain parts of Sydney. The borders to go to Brisbane and Melbourne have closed down. So no one from Sydney can leave to go to Brisbane or Melbourne because they see people in Sydney with 3 cases as a problem. So they've closed us off. I can't go to Brisbane. I can't go to Melbourne. They won't let anyone in Sydney. And they've got police barricading the border in Brisbane and Melbourne. We can't get in there because we've got 3 cases. God damn.
We have certain.
And then I'm just talking to you guys earlier, and you guys have had about 1 million cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want.
We got certain blocks here that have like 3 cases an hour. Forget about cities or state. It's crazy. And I agree with the philosophy there. I agree with it. I mean, people, you tell them they can't go to clubs and wear masks, and they storm the Capitol here. So it's
That's
crazy.
right.
It's crazy.
I saw that shit. Oh man. Like we can't have more than 10 people at one house. All right. And then you see about 50 people go to the president's house the other day. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. You see, he threw a party on New Year's Eve and had dozens of people in his club down in Florida, and none of them were wearing masks. It's like, it's a good message. But he'll be gone.
Well.
He'll be gone.
So he's gone soon. He'll be gone soon, yeah.
Sense will come back to the White House.
That's some crazy shit.
It is as well.
What got you into this end of boxing as far as branding and marketing and stuff like that?
Well, see, I used to be an amateur boxer back in the day. I used to had about between 40 and 45 amateur fights. I can't really remember the exact number. And I was getting ready for a pro fight I had one pro fight in 2011. But in 2008, this is how it all started. Sparring one of my sparring partners, and he was a really good fighter, undefeated professional fighter, a lot of potential. We finished our spar, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Man, I want to do something. I want to give you something." He goes, "What?" He goes, "I want to give you some gloves." And I'm like, "Are you sure, man?" He goes, "Yeah, give some gloves. Have some gloves." And I'm like, looking at him like, "No, man, they're brand new gloves." He goes, "Yeah, they're brand new, but I don't want them. I don't want them. You can have those gloves." I'm like, "Are you sure?" He goes, yeah, just take them. All right, I just took the gloves off him, not thinking anything of it at all, right? So I went back home, and I was just like, it was a tough spar, but I went online to check how much the gloves were worth. So I wanted to see how much these gloves were. They're actually Winnings gloves, right? Winnings, Winnings, the brand Winnings. So ended up checking online, they're $400, and then $400 for these pair of gloves, and he just gave them to me. Then I looked at the gloves, and I'm like, how could a pair of gloves be $400? Like, these are boxing gloves. Come on, man. So I just said, man, there's no way. People are buying these. People are paying money for this. So I'm going to say, man, I'm going to try and do something like this, but I want to make them cheaper. You know what I mean? I want to give fighters affordable boxing gear to wear that is high quality. And that was my mission. So that's why I started the business, because I saw a problem in the market that there was just so many high-end gloves, but they were so terrible. There was terrible gloves as well. There was not something that was great quality at an affordable price. It was either great quality and very expensive, or low quality and really cheap, but it's crap. So my whole goal was to make some gloves that was affordable, but up to that standard. And I'm not going to stop until I continue to do that. So that became an obsession. So I'd be up at night, cutting pieces of leather, measuring, and also just like finding out different types of foam. It became really an obsession, and I can't explain it. It's just one of those things where, your whole life was dedicated to it because you saw a problem and you wanted to fix it, and that was how the journey started. I just saw a problem in the market, in the boxing market. And look, to be honest with you, I wanted to be in the fight game. I was an amateur boxer. I wanted to go professional, and ended up going professional. Had one fight, one win, but I was getting ready for my second pro fight, and I had Bell's palsy on the right side of my face, like a paralysis, like a mini stroke on the right side of my face. It's after a sparring session. Yeah. So this is 2 weeks before my second pro fight, and then I said, man, and the doctor goes, you have to cover your eye for about 3 months, and then you have to my lip and my speech was slurred because I couldn't talk properly because of what happened. And the doctor goes, it could take weeks, months, or years to get over this. So I said, all right, I'll see what happens. And then after 3-4 months, I recovered. But then I said, ooh, okay, I feel for the fighters, right? So that's why I said made for fighters. That's the slogan for my brand, made for. Because fighters go through a lot. They take a lot of criticism. And you know what? A lot of the time when fighters finish boxing, they've got nothing to show for it. A lot of the time, even if they have money during the career, it's usually gone by the end of the career because they don't know how to invest and they don't know how to manage their finances. So the whole purpose of the brand, my goal from the start was to help fighters. And to help fighters, that's why I did a lot of tours of America, because I really got touched from the USA market. Because there was a time back in 2013 or 2015 actually, I was in Vegas. And I went to this community center, right? And in this community center, there was a kid playing basketball. And this kid, he was shooting the ball around by himself. Then I brought him over and I said, look, come hit some mitts. Come hit the mitts. I got him to hold the mitts. I held the mitts for him. But then he goes, yeah, cool. And then he went to play basketball again. And there was a kid with his dad there, another kid with his dad. And he goes to the kid that was just wanted to join and play with him. He goes, no, get away from me. You're not part of our group. Get out. So that kid, who's only like 11 or 12 years old, got pushed away and like he's got no opportunity to do to no one's guiding him. So I thought he had no money to buy anything. Like, so, I gave him a pair of gloves. But like I wanted to just help people get into boxing. and help fighters who are already in boxing develop without having to worry about simple expenses like boxing gloves. Yeah, so that was the whole purpose. And then from that, it started the business. Like, I probably didn't make any money for the first 3 4 years, but I wanted to help fighters. That was my whole goal. So, and then slowly it became more of a commercial. I brought into a commercial market, but I still help fighters. Like, I still want to push and help fighters. If a fighter asks me for gloves, and I need some gloves, I've got nothing. I'm going to help them. I'm going to give them gloves. Unfortunately, that's how I am. That's why I got into it, to help fighters. And if I don't look after fighters, then I'm not really fulfilling my purpose in running my business. Yeah.
See that?
Mm. Mm.
Man, that's dope. That's dope, Kenny. I never knew how
Yeah.
the journey started, but
Yeah.
I know that personally. Together, we've networked a lot. We've helped out a lot of fighters. Man, listen, I'm
Yep.
pretty sure there's probably not a fighter in Florida that's willing to kill a gear that didn't get it from me and get it from you. So I want to just
Yep.
thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity to get gear out to guys that needed it in that time. And now a lot of those guys that rock kill again, man, these guys are fighting on world stages. They fighting for belts. I mean, from Erickson Lubin to the Charlo brothers to Silky Camfort.
Mm.
The list goes on of guys that use and train and kill again, man. So I think
Mm.
all the success that you're seeing now is a testament to the foundation you laid 3 4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It just comes. I guess nothing comes easy. Nothing comes with just expecting things to happen. Doesn't matter like what happens. You got to continue to be disciplined. You got to continue to work hard, and and then you might work hard for 5 years, 6 years, and then nothing happens. Like, and then nothing's still happening, and then suddenly you hit something here, and it works, and then boom, you start looking good, and then you start building your business, and then your business is flowing, and then you start generating more income, and then you can help more fighters. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm able to help more fighters because I've got some momentum. I've built that over the years. Like, it's not about the market. It's not about, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's really a lot of competition. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of competitors. But hey, it's not about that. It's about at the end of the day, it's all about building relationships with fighters, and people. At the end of the day, people buy from people. They don't buy. They don't buy because it's a good glove. They buy because I want to represent this glove because they're good people. So that's the whole purpose, of the brand. So we are good people, and we allow people to box with a certain style. It's gloves with a style. Styling gloves. Killer in Australia is like oh, killer, he's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you. But in America, in the USA, it's killer's like a slogan. It's like
Yeah,
killer. You know,
yeah,
Australians don't
yeah.
understand this. Australians don't understand this. They just think killer, man. Oh man, you gotta kill me, man. You gotta change that name. You gotta change that name. So yeah,
Nah, not at all,
yeah,
man.
So,
yeah, yeah.
who were your big boxing icons that got you into this sport?
Oh, I love Muhammad Ali, of course. He was an amazing fighter, and what he went through in his career was so inspiring. How he revolutionized the sport. He became bigger than the sport. You know, him and I gotta say, like Floyd Mayweather. The way he, from a business perspective, how he revolutionized the sport, how he took another market to boxing. You know what I mean? I idolize and I respect and I look up to all the fighters that bring a new market to boxing. A lot of fighters just do this, they do their job and they win and they become fighters and they become successful. But then there's fighters that come around once in a generation that will bring another market to boxing, and that's the guys that I look up to. The guys that bring another market to boxing because they transcend the sport. They take the sport to another level because they bring that market to boxing, and it lifts boxing to another level. Mm.
Awesome, awesome.
So do you? So right now, and I know you're somebody that definitely has your pulse on the fight game down under. Who are some
Mm.
of the next prospects that we should see coming out of Australia? I mean, we haven't seen anybody in a while. I mean, you had Jeff Horn, who, I don't know, but the last greats, Vic Darcini and Costa Zoo, haven't seen too many guys. Corey Sanders, not too many guys coming out of Australia. So who should we be watching for?
Yeah, well, Australia's got a couple of guys coming through the ranks. There is Justice Hooney, who's a heavyweight. He's a bronze medalist at the World Championships, Junior World Championships. He's an amazing fighter. He's got some silky skills for a heavyweight. He can go in there and fight. He already went professional because the amateurs now can fight professionally before the Olympics. So he's already started his professional journey. He's already become Australian champion in his first pro fight. Australian champion, his first professional fight, fought an experienced fighter, only beat him. So, and then he fought another experienced guy, and he beat him in his second pro fight. So a bit of Lomachenko there. Like I can see, he's got an amazing amateur record. There's a young kid called George Kambosos who I used to train with when he was really young.
He's got Teofimo Lopez.
Yes. Well, if Teofimo takes the fight, that's another question, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Indeed, it is.
I used to train with him when he was younger. I used to train with him when he was younger, so I know him very well. He's very tenacious, big heart, solid, and probably the best fighter at the moment out of Australia with the biggest potential is Tim Tszyu, the son of Costa Tszyu.
Oh.
He's got amazing potential. Like I help him run his gym in at the Tszyu Boxing. Yeah, so he's a once in a generation fighter. He's taken another market to boxing in Australia. He's bringing the old Costa Tszyu fans back, you know, and he's also brought another market where just a younger population back to boxing, you know. The thing about Tim Tszyu, what makes him a great fighter, because I see him pretty much every day. I see him work every day. I see him develop over the years since he was a young kid. He's one of those fighters where you just say, oh, he sees everything in slow motion. You know, he can kind of see things that other fighters can't see. He's more very IQ type fighter. He'll like a Mayweather. He'll touch you here, he'll touch you there, then he'll hit you with a body shot you don't see. You know, he's got that ability to adjust in the ring, and he's got amazing defense. He's got very good power, and he's got amazing footwork. He's one of the best athletes I've ever seen actually in Australia. So I'm picking him. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, so he's kind of the next evolution of his dad, that next level.
Yes, he's. I shouldn't be saying this, but I would say he, like a lot of fighters have a son like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know, a lot of fighters come from that upbringing and they just go in there and they got the potential. I might get in trouble here, but I want to say it. He's a newer and improved version of his dad. I've never seen a fighter who doesn't rely on power, technique, skills. He's got amazing IQ. I've never seen IQ like that in a fighter. And you can ask him, how did you do that? He goes, I don't know. I just do it. Because he can't explain to you what happens in his brain. He can see things that other people can't see. You know, when he had Michael Jordan gets in there, you go, how did you just do that? And he goes, man, I don't know. I just seen it. Like, you know, like fighters or Floyd Mayweather, how did you just touch him to the jab of the stomach and then come around with a hook and catch him after a while? He goes, you just seen it. Like, you just can't teach some skills. People just have a vision in their mind and they just see things that other fighters can't see. And everything comes in like in slow motion. And that's why I see Tim Tszyu, he's not like a checkers player, he's a chess player. He's playing chess and his whole time, he just never gets hit. He's like a Shakur Stevenson. He's the closest thing to Shakur Stevenson we have in Australia.
Wow.
He just doesn't get hit. He does not get hit at all. Yeah.
Wow,
and he destroyed Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn went 9 rounds with Terence Crawford. Okay. And then he went 8 rounds with Tim Tszyu. And Tim Tszyu stopped him 8 rounds, but Tim Tszyu dropped him in the 3rd, almost stopped him in the 4th, and then he was hanging on for 8 rounds, and Tim Tszyu just annihilated him like it was nothing. It was like, and like this, yeah, he's so strong. I've seen him wrestle with all these wrestlers, Tim, to fight on the inside. His inside game is amazing. Like, fighters will go on him and try and out-muscle him, out-wrestle him. Like, Jeff Horn would be like trying to do what he did to Pacquiao on Tim. Tim just manhandled him. He's like on the inside, his strength is amazing. Yeah, he's like a Terence Crawford in terms of strength. You don't see him that strong, but he's amazingly strong. Yeah. So I've got to say he's been voted Australian fighter of the year for the second year in a row now, and he'll test Jamel Charlo. He'll test Jamel Charlo because Tim doesn't get hit.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yep.
Well, you were talking about he was, wrestling around with Jeff Horn at 147, and you're saying he'll go to 154 and test Jermell Charlo.
No, he's already at 154. So he's a 154 fighter. Jeff Horn went up to 154 to fight him.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's at natural 154. He's I see him as a natural middleweight, but he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. You got to look out for him. He's been coming to Vegas and training with a few trainers in Vegas, and he's been sparring at the Wild Card, and he's been looking amazing. Like Top Rank's been trying to sign him for a few years now. I think a few other. No, ours also had a chat to him. So they've all been trying, but he hasn't done anything. He's created his own market in Australia, and he's bringing fighters to Australia to fight. I don't think he'll go to America right now. I think maybe another year or two, he'll go to America and probably test out who's the junior middleweight champ then. Yeah. But he's number one contender for Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano. They're fighting next month in Los Angeles. So he's the number one contender. Well, he's number two. Castano's number one. So, and he fights Teixeira. So the winner of that will probably end up fighting Tim Tszyu, or the big fella might have something to say about that. The big guy, he might say, nah, Castano, whoever wins that fight must fight Jermell Charlo. Then it's unification. Yeah. So I think, I generally think that might happen, actually. I might think that Al might just say, hey, look, whoever wins that fight, you fight Charlo for unification. That's what might happen. Yeah, that makes sense. If Castano wins, Charlo versus Castano is going to happen because they're both under the same stable. But if Teixeira wins, he might just say, I'll take the money, I'll come to Australia. Yeah, but I think Teixeira wants to fight Charlo as well.
Oh, yeah, listen, for either one of those guys, that's a history-defining fight. Either one of those guys that comes out on top of that fight, Kenny, they get Jermell Charlo, that is a history-defining fight. It's a unification fight for all straps. So,
that's right.
Yeah, anybody that gets that fight, hats off to them. Listen, you said something interesting. You said that they bring guys down to Australia to fight. Now, rumor has it that Teofimo Lopez, who we've watched here in Florida when he came up in the amateurs, because he didn't come up in the amateurs in New York, came up in the amateurs here in Florida. We watched him in the amateurs in the early part of his career. Word on the street is that he's going to make this fight happen in Australia, and it's going to be the biggest payday of his career. Is the Australian fight fan base that rabid? Do y'all sell out arenas like that?
Let me tell you something. I don't think it's going to happen. Look, it would be amazing if it happens, but I think, like, for Tim Tszyu's last fight, he's the biggest draw card in Australian boxing right now. He'd get maybe 17,000, 20,000. Jeff Horn, maybe 25,000, with Jeff Horn. But I think it was 30,000 with Jeff Horn. But I can't see 65 to 70,000 Australians coming out for a lightweight fight, for fighters that even know, like, fighters that know Teofimo, fighters that know, like, George is not a commercial name in Australia. He's not a Tim Tszyu. He's not a Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn and Tim Tszyu, Anthony Mundine, these guys can sell out arenas. But see, George and Teofimo, amazing fight for boxing, great fight. That would be an amazing fight for world boxing, But for Australia, Australian public, it's for 65 to 70,000 people to hit a stadium. You have to have bankrolled by the government, because that's what happened with Jeff Horn, right? When Jeff Horn fought Pacquiao, the Australian Queensland government threw in the money to pay for Pacquiao's purse. Now, if that happens, if they get a government grant, the Australian government, New South Wales government, puts money in to pay for Teofimo's purse, then they can sell tickets, and a lot of people will go.
That's amazing.
But during COVID and restrictions, I don't know if the government wants tourism right now. That's the thing. That's why I saw on Twitter this morning that Teofimo has already turned his attention towards Devin Haney. He's already said to Devin, let's go. He's already said, Devin, don't make an excuse this time. So Teofimo's chasing Devon now because he knows that he probably knows that he might just have to relinquish that belt because there's not enough money involved. Because that it has to be a government. Government's got to come in and pay for it because no one in Australian boxing has that money. We ain't that big. We got nobody. You know what I mean? So if the government doesn't come in and help, that fight won't happen. So that maybe Teofimo knows that, maybe he doesn't. But he's already chasing Devon. But who knows what's going to happen? The IBF might say George fights Nakatani because Nakatani's the next available contender. He fought Teofimo last, and they might just have fight for a vacant title. Yeah, because Teofimo won't come down to Australia unless there's some big money. He wants minimum 6 million to 10 million. So he won't come down unless some big money's involved.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I never, you would never think that here in the States because if the government decided they were going to back a fight, you'd already know it was fixed here. I mean, it's not something that the U.S. government would do.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our Olympic athletes having to raise their own money, so. But we'll bail out the WWE, but that's okay.
Because Donald Trump loves WWE, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's been on it.
He's in there all the time.
Yeah. And UFC as well, and the UFC.
Yeah, indeed. So last time I think we talked was a couple of years ago when you were coming here and you were doing a convention out in Vegas. I know you went. How many times did you go? 2 or 3?
I think I've done 2, maybe 1, 2, 3.
3. Okay. So give me a little bit of insight about what it was like the first time you showed up at the convention and how fighters received you versus the third time you went. They were a little bit more familiar with you. What was that like?
Yeah, so the first time I want to give you a story actually. Went to New York the first time back in 2013 and I went to a few gyms. I went to about 150 gyms in New York, Brooklyn, New York, because we just went for a road trip and I got kicked out of about 90 gyms. We use Everlast, man. So I got kicked out of about 90 gyms. But then there was a few gyms that were interested, so I kept on pursuing those. And then that became pretty big because I might have the ability to make custom gloves, custom. Like I can put the gym's logo on it with Killer, the gym. We have a joint partnership. So I was able to do that for a few gyms in New York, and that really took off. And now customization, a lot of stuff I do is customized now, and that's what's really like. It's all collaboration style work now that I work with, and that's what's really taken off now with the market because I'm able to adapt and change and move differently in different directions all the time. That's what kept me in the game, rather than just trying to sell gloves that like to a fighter or to a customer. Yeah, I try and do collaboration and work with a lot of different people and just grow a network of people rather than just trying to sell gloves to like the market. Yeah. But I guess the first time I went to the fitness expo, it was pretty daunting because you see all these different brands and you see a lot of fighters. At first, it was like starstruck. Yeah, you're just completely starstruck, and it was kind of like wow. Where do I look? Where do I go? But after the first time, that was when the Mayweather versus Canelo. I think Mayweather Canelo fought on that one, and actually no, not Mayweather Canelo. It was Mayweather Maidana 2. I think maybe Mayweather Maidana 2. Yeah. It's between Mayweather Canelo and Mayweather Maidana 2. Anyway, it was kind of like a different experience each time, but eventually, like you end up knowing a lot of fighters, and you become good friends with them, and you form relationships at these expos that you don't break. Doesn't break. You keep come back to each other for help, or if you need to ask a question about a fighter or some guy wants to manage this fighter, what do you think of him? You share your knowledge with other people in the game, and that's all part of being in the fight game. You got to share your knowledge, help each other out, and it's a small community. Because I realized this, right? I realized when I first went to the States at the Boxing Expo, boxing really as a global is not that big. Nope. It's like a very small community, very small community. of people, and everyone pretty much knows each other. You know, it's a small community around the world. You know, it's like a little, like a mini, like a little cult in terms of a lot of fighters, a lot of managers, a lot of promoters. But everyone knows each other. It's like a little area. And then when they all get together at these fights, at the Mayweather fights, and when you see everyone, you know everyone. But it's a good stable of people. I just found that everyone is so nice and so helpful and so respectful. It just became an amazing. That's why I kept on going back to America, because I just loved it. I loved the being around all these people in the fight game. It was amazing to be part of it, and I hope it comes back and I'm part of it again. Yeah.
So, what inroads have you made in like the Eastern European market in the UK?
I have not been focusing on the market at all, to be honest.
Okay. Wow, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm not. Yeah. My whole focus is the USA market. That's my main goal, and that's, I think I'll ever go to that area. Right now, it's not in my vision at all. Yeah, I want to stick to the American market.
Okay.
So I got a question
Mm.
for you, Kenny. Now we can
Mm.
talk a little bit of boxing. I need your top three fighters right now in the world, regardless of weight class. Who you got?
Canelo, Errol Spence, and Crawford.
Really?
Okay, it's a good
Mm.
list. Ain't a
Mm.
bad list. Ain't a bad list at all. I like it. Won't you
Canelo,
get on
because
the
he's,
big room?
sorry,
No,
you
that's
don't
my
agree?
partner. He not agree.
Uh, I just, and I asked this question respectfully.
Mm.
How you leave Jermel Charlo or Teofimo Lopez off of that list?
They're in the five. They're in the top five.
Okay.
They're in the top five. I love TFM. I've been watching him since he started as a pro. He's like a Mayweather with power, with big power. He's like a Mike Tyson and a Mayweather in one. He's like an amazing fighter. Jamil or Jamal? Jamal is amazing. Jamal, the middleweight, the older brother. Oh my goodness, he is so disciplined with his jab. It's like he doesn't stay away from the game plan. He's like a machine. He keeps popping that jab, and he doesn't stop. He doesn't matter like what the opponent's doing. He's on the game plan, you know, and he's got amazing strength and power, and he is oof, he's he's an amazing fighter. Like Triple G should not fight him. Like, you know, it's good for him, but Triple
Yeah.
G should stay away from Jamal Charlo. Yeah, stay away from him. Yeah. He's he's a beast. I've known Jamal since he was young. He was a young boy, and I think we did some work together. Yeah, but
Yeah, for sure.
his development has been amazing. Yeah. So I fully agree with that. Oh, that's my top five. Yeah, I love,
Okay.
you know, but my number one is Canelo for obvious reasons. I just think he's got that. He's got that. He's the next. He's the closest thing to Mayweather we've had in boxing since Floyd. He's a bit, yeah, the closest thing since Floyd that we've seen in the way he's able to think while he's in there. He changes the game. Yeah, he's like that. He's got that IQ. He's smart. He touches. He like how he knocked out Amir Khan. You know, he just was patient. It's unbelievable how patient he is in the ring. He just doesn't. He's like his heart rate doesn't go over 80. I think when he's in the ring, he just doesn't. He just stays there. And
Yeah.
then the punches come. He just doesn't phase him. Yeah, he's just so confident.
Now,
Mm.
who would your top female fighter in the world be?
Oh, Clarissa Shields, hands down. She's two-time Olympic gold medalist. She's clearly above all the fighters I've ever seen that are female. She'll beat, I'll tell you right now, she'll beat a lot of the guys, like let's say not top 10 guys, but like top 100. She'll beat a couple of top 100 guys. You know what I mean? She's got that ability.
I believe it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Wow.
telling you, like the way the female game's changed, she's changed the game.
She
She
has.
fights like a guy. She's pretty much, you know, I'm not afraid to say this. You know, I used to box, but she'll probably beat me. She'll knock me out, probably. Yeah. Mm.
I don't know, Kenny. You still look pretty strong, but Clarissa is A problem. I will give you that, brother. She is definitely a problem.
Big problem.
Now listen, we ain't gonna hold you up too long. I got one more question for you. My partner probably has a couple more for you. If you could pick one guy right now, amateur, prospect, contender, or champion, to wear and brand and endorse Killer Boxing, who would it be?
It'll be a guy it'll be a person that I like what he represents and he carries himself as a person. And I'd have to say probably the fighter that I would love to wear killer gloves. I'd say Errol Spence.
Wow.
Errol Spence.
Big fish.
I just like
fish, EJ.
Yeah, EJ.
Okay,
I just love the way. He doesn't talk crap. He just doesn't get involved with all the bullshit. He just does his job. But at the same time, he'll come out with a comment that everyone's like, "What? What did he just say?" You know. So he's like, when he says something, everyone listens because when he talks, he's not like a talk. But when he talks, he's very articulate and very smart. You know, the way he talks. Yeah, I like how him and who was it from the UK? He fought. Who was that last guy? Yeah, Kell Brook. Yeah, I like the trash talk. The way how he was like, you know, this guy got him out of there. That guy got him out of there, and you're going to be out of there. So like he's got, you know, he just went through all the names that he beat. Yeah, I think Kell Brook got scared of that fight. Yeah. But yeah, full respect to Kell Brook anyway. He fought amazing against Terence Crawford before he got stopped. You know, I thought he was going really well, and then boom, he got hit. Yeah. And he couldn't recover. Yeah.
We have this game that we play called 5 Rounds, 1 Punch. So if you want to play, we'd love you to. So whatever I say to you, the first thing that comes to your mind, just spit it out.
All right.
Okay? All right.
Yep, go for it.
Round 1. Shrimp or steak?
Steak.
Oh. Round 2. Paul Hogan.
Aussie.
Round 3. Who's bigger in Australia? Paul Hogan or Ian Thorpe?
Paul Hogan.
Okay. Round 4. What do you think of when somebody says the All Blacks?
Oh, the enemy.
We need to clarify that. The All Blacks are an Australian rules rugby team. So
no, they're a New Zealand team.
No, New Zealand.
I mean New Zealand.
That's why they're
New Zealand, yeah.
I meant to say New Zealand. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Round 5. Crickets.
Yep. Not much happening.
My aunt had been in Australia for several times, and she kept telling me you'll never find a cricket in Australia. So I was just trying to see if that was true.
Yeah, it's not much.
We have a bonus question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Would you like your children to remember you for what you've said or for what you've done?
What I've done.
Appreciate you playing.
No problem.
That was the quickest game I think we've ever had.
No, man. Listen, the man knows how to stick to a plan. I mean, it's clear as he's got this tremendous brand from the ground up. Brother, listen, I want to thank you for your time, man, and coming and hanging out with us. Can you do us a favor and let everybody here at Fighter Shirt Nation know we can keep up and follow Killer Boxing?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Give us the social media handles for the company.
Yep. You can follow Killer Boxing at Killer Boxing on Instagram, on Facebook, Killer Sports Group on Facebook, and you got Twitter at Killer Boxing.
Perfect. Hey, we really appreciate you giving us. What time is it there?
It's 10:50 a.m. Nearly 11 a.m.
All right, perfect.
Thursday.
On Thursday morning.
Thursday, yeah.
On Thursday, yeah. One day ahead. What time is it over there?
It is
Almost 7 p.m.
6:50.
Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
p.m.
Oh, that's
Wednesday
good.
night.
This is a good timing for both of us.
Yeah. And
Good
listen,
fun.
now we know what time you wake up. We will have you back on the show very soon to
Absolutely.
talk more. Next time we'll talk a
Absolutely.
little bit more boxing, man. We appreciate you. Thank you so
Yep.
much, brother. We look forward to talking to you soon.
And,
Appreciate my
and
man.
next time
Good
we
to
can
talk to you,
actually ask
Anwar.
you. We can ask you the question that he was afraid to ask you this time. He really wanted to know about the Australian women versus the kangaroos, but he didn't ask you this time. So next time,
I never.
guess you did. He's always been talking about Australian women. That's why he wants to go to Australia.
Oh, you
Hey,
gotta
I'm
come to
coming,
Australia,
bro.
man.
I'm coming. I'm
You gotta
coming,
come.
bro. Keep it
Yeah.
keep it warm for me. I'll be
Listen,
there.
listen.
I'm keeping it warm.
He's gonna spread way more than COVID when he comes to
Hey, you
Australia.
gotta relax, bro. You gotta chill, bro. These are the kind of friends I have. Kenny, listen, man, it's been great. We'll catch up with you soon, brother.
Thanks, Anwar. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have fun with your show, and look to promote it soon.
All right,
Yes,
peace,
sir.
brother.
Peace.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Bye. Peace.
Yo, that was my boy Kenny from Killer Boxing. Listen, man, that was, bro. I've been knowing Kenny. I mean, through social media for about 4 years. That's my guy. Every time y'all see me in the killer gear when I'm training, working out, my gloves, my mitts, all that is killer stuff, man. I should have brought my gloves onto the show to show my brother some respect. So I'll make sure I do that tomorrow. Show off my gloves, man. My dog got me laced up right. And they bright green too. You know how we do in Florida. We like our colors.
Yeah, I'm surprised he couldn't get you some gator boxing gloves, but that's okay.
Might be
Um,
next.
no, it's not.
Crocodile to be
No, it's
exact.
not crocodile. Whatever. Y'all don't have croc. Y'all got gators. Um,
They work too.
listen, that was an awesome interview. That really
Yeah, man.
was. So,
We keep
hey,
going up,
we just followed the
up,
direction. Followed the direction.
up, up.
So,
That's it.
hey, tomorrow, tune in for another spectacular show. We thank y'all for starting your week off with us like this. Um, wow, bro, that was just a good interview. I'm excited for the rest of my day. I hope you're excited for the rest of your day and your day too. Yeah, that way. Yeah. Um,
It don't matter. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
so, hey, shout out to Fighter Share Nation, everybody that tuned in, Mom, Pops, Miss Karen, Anita, man, so many, Miss Darlene. Thank you all for keeping supporting us, even on the replays. And I'm gonna turn it over to my brother and my wife and my
Man,
daughter.
because they're the most important. Listen, we'll catch y'all back here tomorrow about this same time where I'll be cutting loose a little bit because we know why you're here. Hashtag watch the pod. This is what we do. Tapping with your people, give them a little joy. It's tough out there. Mental illness is real. Other than that, man, we out here. We'll see y'all the same back time, same bad place. Fighter Nation. Peace.